Alright, pause for a second without the music. Let the draft run. Get started. We'll be jumping into Pofke versus Lazybear. I expect to see kind of a lot of, not cheese play, but both of these players usually come out with some hot moves. Lazybear on Aquarium. Pofke's had some Aquarium stuff. It'll be very interesting to see them tee off. So, alright, let's get to this. Draft is hidden. Okay, and it looks like we're going to be ready. I almost said 3-2 playing it, even though I'm by myself. Do that every time. Lazybear starting off as Spy, Pearls on Ballroom. Ballroom sometimes the great equalizer in some people's eyes, with it being one of the older venues and fairly well balanced. Lazybear's playing it pretty slow here, doing a bit of idling, maybe hoping to get a low light or just lose some early suspicion, or doesn't want to be paired for early flirting. We do have Rocker at the bookcase, so flirting would be a little bit of a chance to go for it, as she might leave. And Lazybear figured out how to mind control the ST, brings Rocker right over, but only lands the white test to take us up to 34%. You're hoping for the green test there, as always. And a good banana bread. I think there was like one person out, and it was the SDA joining that conversation on the right, and I think she was joining right as it happened anyways. So it's an early contact double agent, but it's a necessary one because it was perfect. So good recognition by Lazybear to be looking for that opportunity even in the early game here. We do get 2 rejects in a row, I think. Ourself and then into Rocker. Lazybear kind of moving the camera around, watching the Ambassador, probably looking for reverse drive-by opportunities or just seeing where he's going to go. Meanwhile, Pofke, pretty standard, keeping his eye on the Ambassador and just watching these conversations as best as he can, checking on Purloin. Kind of weird that he's like zooming and not putting the reticule right on the list, but using the side of the camera, maybe for the better angle. Amba joins us here, and this could be an opportunity for a bug, as the Ambassador's a bit close here, though he feels a little far, and Pofke's right on it. Again, kind of using the side of the zoom in instead of focusing directly. We do let an AI come up and take briefcase from us. And we've now got Contact and Seduce finished up. We've got 1 minute left on the clock to get our 2 missions. We're going to have to get a hard tell here. Either Purloin or Bug, I'm pretty sure, are going to take place here, unless we want to go for a swap, but that's going to be rough unless it's a green, and it'll have to be a 3 cycle with the Inspect. If the Ambassador had taken a drink and there was a fingerprint that Lazybear knew about that could have been an option, it looks like we're going to head over to an innocent conversation. Are we not planning on finishing here? Here's going to be the Purloin. We'll check out Sniper View. We Purloin from a conversation by ourselves. It's zoomed in, it's seen. Is Pofke going to take the shot? Does Pofke need to take the shot? Does he feel pressured enough? Do we have anyone else in the party that's been suspicious and was near that Purloin? We do go for the gulp, interestingly enough. And here's going to be the Bug. A couple seconds left. And he's... Pofke's just waiting with his laser there. He's not even watching. He's just like, I know what's going to happen next. He's going to come around and bug the Ambassador, so I'm just going to leave my laser right here, and he's going to walk right into it. That's fun. Let's get the scoreboard updated. So that's going to be first point to Pofke, good patience. He just waits for Lazybear to reveal himself there at the end of the game. And really good patience by not taking the shot right when the Purloin goes off, as that can be kind of a scary moment there. Okay, so let's make sure I don't click the wrong thing. Start next. We'll be heading in with Pofke on Pearls right back. Starting out a blue bookcase, I think it's about where the AI wanted to take us. And we do take the book with us, heading over to the opposite side of the venue. We do end up next to the ambassador, so we're hoping here that Lazybear doesn't notice this book in hand, I'm assuming. But eyes are going to be on us a little bit here with the ambassador. And we go for the standing bug as Kane walks by with the briefcase. It's timed. Yeah, the timing was just slightly. That would have been great if he did it, slightly earlier. The intent here is to get this walking bug as Kane is right there, and he triggers it. It seems like that's actually when he presses the button. Had that been a little bit earlier, that could have been covered by Kane. There would have been maybe the arm snap back a little bit, but it's just timed a little bit off. Very, very close. Because we needed Kane to be able to cover part of our hand coming back as well. So that's going to be a quick point over to Lazybear. It's fine by Pofke. I mean, you've got to go for the hard tells at some point. You can either sit around for 3 minutes doing contact and seduce and then go for the bug, or if you get an opportunity early game, you can go for it then. So on Spy, you've got to try some stuff. Lazybear starting out this time with a flirt. Both players before had not been able to get a flirt off early game. Hit a white test for 34%. Reject drink. Are we going to see Lazybear leave to reset this flirt cooldown, or is he going to play? Is he going to play with pretty big respect to Pofke's ability to notice something like that? You do see at some of the higher levels, like Diamond and some Platinum, people just flirting and then immediately leaving during Time of Chaos, so they can just optimize that flirt cooldown a little bit more. But these players so far are playing it very respectfully. Don't want to get caught for something like that. I think that's probably best in Platinum. I don't feel like I can really get away with a flirt quick leave. So we hit a green up to 85. We're in a good position now. We've just got to get one more flirt, which I'm fine with. I mean, you've got to do other missions anyway, so I think if you're Lazybear here, go work on some of your other missions. You'll pick up that flirt later. You got to find time to idle anyhow.
Banana bread.
And we go for the green BB. Pofke takes 2 lowlights. Now, it looks a little bit suspicious if Pofke noticed that Lazybear was the recent joiner to that conversation, and then Banana Bread goes off. Despite it being green, it can look a little suspicious if he's keeping track of when people are joining conversations. We do take an innocent drink, maybe Lazybear thinking he needs to lose some of the suspicion from that fact that he joined and BB went off. I can put Vice. I don't know how to say it. Vi, if you remind me, I will put the draft up on screen after this round. But I do have it. We're gonna double sip on the pad. Is that okay to do that? To double sip there? I'm assuming it is. I don't think Lazybear would do it if it wasn't allowed. And we're gonna go in for the bug. We take the bug, and there's the arm snapback. Pofke on top of it, playing as he should, keeping a strict eye on his ambassador. Good on Lazybear to go for that bug. I mean, it was, it was good timing and everything, but Pofke is just all over it. Let's take a look at the draft here. There is your draft. Let me move the camera so it's a little easier to read. There you go. Double watches, double reads, double sips, all fine. Double bugs, also fine. Okay, next game is up, so I'm going to toggle draft off. And we are 2-1 heading into our last round of Ballroom with Pofke on Salmon. Starting out with a drink in hand and our ST at statues, we elect to go to the painting pad to look at our ST in another way. We're taking a look at this painting, just admiring Kane's beautiful excellence. And we go for the redirect away from Blue Book, or away from Briefcase rather. We'll see if Lazybear notices and gives any credit. That almost feels like a fake low light, or maybe that's just him moving his laser around and coincidentally Pofke is standing right there. It looked a little bit like a bug path from Pofke. Innocent drink take, and we have no mission progress at 2:32. The ST finally settles down into a conversation. Banana bread would actually be not that bad right now. We'd be losing a low light on Duke, who is a highlight, and there was General off to the side, but that's quite a few people in conversation, and it's pretty spread out. Unfortunately, General is going to step into what I believe to be mid statues, so that's you'd be losing, I think, two important highlights at this point. So it's changed a bit here. We're going to head in for the briefcase, getting our first half mission progress at 150. And we don't land the fingerprint. I was looking at the clock in the top right. We do take the fingerprint. Sorry about that. And he did start talking in that conversation and then move. I think he may have misclicked on the fingerprint there. Tried to mimic the anti-tell. Okay.
Banana bread.
Banana bread goes off. Minute 20 left. We've got contact and half of a fingerprint. Lazybear still watching Purloin. I imagine we're going to go for this. We do. We take the green Purloin at the window. We'll check watch. Lazybear, though, has kept a pretty watchful eye on Purloin here, and I don't think the Ambassador was in any amount of particular danger. We're going to pick up our first flirt up to 51%. I believe we did actually time out over at that window. Purloin has gone off, and I don't think there's been a reaction yet. We now see the guest list is gone. Do we have the chain? And we take a shot on the Taft. We almost accidentally shoot Toby. Lazybear let up on watching that Purloin for just a moment, and it was the perfect amount of time for Pofke to sneak in a green Purloin there. So Pofke's going to actually be exiting Ballroom up 3-1. Let's take a second to look at that anti-tell that you said he was trying to mimic. If someone, I know that if the AI talked to you in the conversation, then it's an anti-tell, right? So what is he trying to do here by picking up the briefcase and then talking? Just reset his, he's trying to reset his idol. Yeah, I guess I'm trying to reset his idol. And we get the green. Yeah, and I don't think Lazybear, it exits with Smallman there, but I don't think he even noticed at that point. It was not until Taft took it. The anti-tell where you reset the idol. Yeah, okay. Heading into Tayan. And this was whose pick? Pofke. So this is going to be Lazybear's pick on Tayan. So Pofke exits his double up 3-1. You love to see that. If you're Pofke, we'll see how Lazybear answers back. Hopefully he can also net himself a 3-1 lead here. Starts off by rejecting a drink at the front area, just innocently. We head back to our seduction target, who leaves as we arrive. Slippery ol' Seek. We didn't see, well, I guess we saw a little bit of cheesy play by Pofke with trying to mimic the anti-tell for the double idol. I'm excited to see what else these two have up their sleeves. Lazybear does take a very quick standing bug into leave. I'm actually surprised that that landed. I'm going to want to look at that in replay. Innocent watch check. We're going to head back to an innocent conversation from Lazybear's perspective. And we've got the bug through, but we're going to have to get at least one other mission that's a little bit harder, whether it be inspect or fingerprint. Microfilm, I suppose, is also an option, but with this shoji setup, probably not. And we've still got to work on seduce and contact. Yeah, feeling a little bit behind the clock. Lazybear elects to add time at the back area there. So far unnoticed, no lighting changes. Heading into conversation with our seduction target to work on our first flirt. You hold the talk for like 5 seconds and then go for it.
Banana bread.
We go for our contact into a stop talk. And we did see a slight pause by Pofke there before he took his low lights, so that could be him trying to check out who's talking, who stopped talking, and look for some of those cues. Which could be bad for Lazybear considering we had a white BB into a stop talk here. And again, what's our fourth mission going to be? I mean, I think there's a fingerprint on the statue to the left of that center one, but if we were to grab both of those, then we're just completing inspect and leaving seduce off the board, so it's not really going to help us. I imagine Lazybear is going to go for the chase onto Seek here to pick up the last flirt. We really need a green if we're trying to finish at any reasonable time and not get shot for it. And we do land the green test. Lazybear on top of it. We've got the 2 flirt. We're now... he did not want to be credited with that bug, so he left as soon as the Amba came up next to him. I like that. I believe we just had a reject, and he goes for the green after the reject on Rocker. Very courageous to go for a purloin right there at the front area. We'll see how Pofke responds. Bit of a reject chain. What, Rocker to Spy to Kane, now back to Rocker. Well, we know Rocker's not in it. Pofke just now noticing the purloin is gone. He's got a few seconds to shoot and react, and he doesn't go for it. He holds, and Lazybear with the mission complete. Lazybear showing us that there is a reason he doubled tan. So we're at 3-2. Let's see how Pofke answers back as Queen. Stepping in for a green distant flirt here for 32%. And the pacing of these players in terms of the spectation is great. I'm having no delay between rounds. They're timing this all perfectly for me. And the pacing of their spies is pretty good. You see that a lot, I think, at this kind of gold, platinum, diamond level where it looks like they're pacing. They're kind of very, very slow for the first large chunk of the game, and then towards the end they sneak through their stuff unless something, you know, pops up as an opportunity early in the game, like a bug that Lazybear just got. But they're not going to force anything through early. Kind of let the opportunities come to them until they're forced to make something happen themselves. And Pofke already finishing up Seduce. We've now got 2 minutes and 20 seconds to get our other 3 missions. We do see the ambassador leaving a fingerprint on that statue on the far right. We're going to reject a drink. Yeah, and I imagine we're going to go for a banana bread. It is going to be red. Not on screen, but we do see Queen's hat kind of snap back in the animation there post-cough. Not sure that it was noticed, though. But due to the cough, we do see Lazybear take a handful of lowlights. I believe people that he was watching that he did not see give off the cough animation. And the party's very narrowed down now. We're 1 of 4 suspects here. Thankfully, we're neutral it. We're not the highlight. Of course, Pofke doesn't know that. All right, we've got our 2 given missions on this one. Seduce and Contact. We've got 1:30. We can get Inspect and Fingerprint on the far right statue and the far left. We're going to elect for a white purloin. I believe the fade is well on screen. We'll see. Yeah, and Lazybear goes for it. He's comfortable with seeing that fade there, and that's going to tie it up 3-3. So Lazybear answering back with his doubled pick of tan. And I wanted to see, let's take a look at the cough here. Where is it? So watch Queen's hat here.
Banana bread.
You can see that little bit of snap there. Where is it?
Banana bread. Banana bread.
Yeah, you can see that little snap on the back of her hat, but I mean, I don't know, that's pretty hard to see. So Lazybear stepping in as spy again on Mom. ST coming right to us. Hopefully we land the green here. Let's get Seduce done. We're going to reject. And then we're going to flirt up to 51%. And we're fine just hanging out here. It's Taeyeon. You don't need to move that much anyways, so we're going to just hang out in the conversation next to our ST unless they leave us. And our ST bails. Unfortunately, we're not able to wrap up the Seduce here. Double Agent does step into conversation. We're going to have one person out. We are going to go for it. It's a green. It could look technically like Salmon got a green standing there, but Pofke is comfortable in that low light. ST out at the front. We're going to step next to him, but not too close. Take a white up to 79%, so we just need one more white, decently close flirt to wrap it up. And we do pick up a highlight for that, though there's quite a few. Excuse me, quite a few highlights. We've got what, half of the remaining party highlight? More than half. Gonna add time in the back window there. Not sure that Pofke's noticed. We see no reaction. We're going to finish up Seduce, and we've now got 2 minutes to get our other two missions. Here we're going to go for a bug. It's not going to be able to be seen just due to the setup of the conversations in the shoji, but that's a bug that happens very commonly on Taeyeon, and you have to know that that path is the person taking the bug. So even if you don't see it there, you have to be crediting Lazybear with that bug just for the path, because that's the path to take on this venue. And Pofke's on top of it. He's played Taeyeon a few times before and picks up his 4th point. All right, let's see if Lazybear can take a win here to bring the score back to 4-4 to at least get us tied up. We're going to go for the cheese transfer, and Lazybear's on top of that. Yeah, I'm not sure that that's going to work against Lazybear on a venue that is so small. I mean, I get that you got to get stuff done and you got to try some stuff, but I don't think that Taeyeon was the opportunity here, or was the time to go for it. I'm not sure that he, yeah, and here, like, if you're making this decision to do this, if you want to do that, that's okay, but at least do it at a time where the ambassador is vulnerable. Here, the ambassador is really not vulnerable. There's no one standing next to him that could get a standing bug, so, and he's on screen. You've got to have something to distract away from that, because what is Lazybear focusing on here? He's focusing on changing the lights of, the Amba, Toby, Damon, looking at who's at statues, and watching the Amba. I mean, his eyes are just in the open there. So, unfortunate timing. Amba's a little bit safe right there. Heading into the next venue, all tied up 4-4, is going to be Veranda. Yeah, and Taeyeon has less people on it, so there's just not much going on. If you're going to do a cheese transfer microfilm like that, this is the venue to do it on. However, this time we're going to have Lazybear on Spy, who is stepping in for our first flirt up to 51%. We'll see how much time Lazybear spends at this conversation. Reverse drive-by coming through. We do take it and immediately leave to try, I think, to try and mask some of our arm snapback there. Lazybear's been doing that a lot. He's getting this bug into like very quick split, and I'm liking it. It's making it a little bit harder to recognize it from the sniper's POV. However, if Pofke is checking in on these bugs in the replay, he'll also notice that that's happening quite a bit. Though I'm sure that it's a good enough move that it doesn't matter. Heading back in for our next flirt, and we are flirt completed. We've got 2 missions done with 305 on Taeyan, and one of those is the hardtail that we're going to need. We're in a pretty good position. We will probably get contact, and from there you've got a few options. Inspect is pretty common, though not always needed.
Banana bread.
We get the real contact. Pofke's prioritizing low lights for the most part. Takes a few on the right side of the venue. Seems to be watching for bug and kind of the guest list. We don't use that opportunity to go for any other hardtails or any other mission progress. We simply take our contact and then chill. I do think that Lazybear was ahead on time, but he needs to start making some moves here. And now we're just idling in this back conversation. We are going to go in for the inspect. I'm worried that this is going to be a swap because we cut talk animation to go for it. Are we frame swapping? Oh, we purloined. Okay. It's like, why is he swapping at this point? So we did get a green purloin. We go in for the swap and the dance before Pofke can react, and we win. Very surprising bursty end here. Let's take a look at this purloin. I thought it was just a simple reject. So we get the quick reject. We're talking, and we run back for the swap. And I think at this point, Pofke may have been reacting to the purloin. He does low light, so he's kind of lighting Toby to keep track of it. And I think at this point he was starting to realize what was going on. That's why he's turning his laser over there, but it was simply too late. So a good purloin to distract from the upcoming swap. Was there anyone at that statue before? I felt like Salmon may have been over there. Salmon was at the other one. Okay. So that's going to be a point for Lazybear. A really great win on Veranda. It's statistically, I think, a pretty sniper favored venue. But he manages to pull out the win with kind of that early bug, which let's take a look at that bug again. Where is it here? So we're going to take the reverse drive-by, yeah, and then he splits, so from the sniper side. And you can see the arm coming back, but he immediately leaves. And that really does mask it. I find myself often kind of replaying what I just saw in my head for bugs and then thinking about, again, like, was that a bug that I just saw? And that really kind of cuts that. It makes that a bit harder for sniper because the person is moving and now you're having to just look at what's happening now rather than what just happened and replaying it in your mind. And again, it just cuts that animation a little bit short on the arm snapping back, which, you know, at this point would be snapping back to our chest. It probably would have been covered anyways. But yeah, I mean, a great bug that he gets away with pretty clean early game, and that really helped him win. So. And a little bit of dance here. Trying to dance behind Salmon. Yeah, I'll be interested to see what Pofke pulls out. I think these bigger venues, these 5 of 8s, are the ones, and you know, 4 of 8s and stuff like that, are the ones that are going to offer them the opportunity to do some of that fun, cheesy stuff that both of these players are known for. No aquarium, though, in the draft, which I'm surprised about. Did they ban or restrict it? Aquarium not up at all, which is, yeah, very surprising because obviously we saw Lazybear recently with a couple cheesy shark plays. Pofke has also done them before. Maybe they're both just worried about it against each other. And they're both probably fairly familiar with what they're both going to try. So they feel it might not work against one another. Next one's up, so we'll head into Pofke's Spy on Veranda. You take control, do a little bit of redirecting, go for some time of chaos bouncing. We do go for the double walking bug, which doesn't stick. Doesn't seem that Lazybear has noticed. We do path by the ambassador with arcane side hand there into a pretty quick talk. We've got to be careful that we don't pick up suspicion for that bug path and then into a quick talk here. And we're going to go for a flirt into leave, headed into red books, sorry, blue books. A little bit of an AI stop by General there. We go for the white micro. There's a lot of cover on screen. You can see the head looking back and forth from Lazybear's position, but looks like it's going to go unnoticed. We'll head back into conversation with our ST. Got one of these front circles here, picking up our next flirt to 66%. Now, with Pofke grabbing the microfilm out of Blue Book, that means that he's also going to have to do it at green or red, which is just so scary. I mean, and oftentimes it gets seen here on this venue. We're gonna go for a banana bread. Low light onto wheels in general, who were highlights. Lazybear looking out for any hard tells in case that was a distractionary contact. It wasn't. Looks like we're gonna leave conversation. Probably head into green books next. First, we're going to stop at this convo with Alice and hang out for a moment. And I imagine that it's going to be a green book microfilm unless we go to red. But if you go to red, you usually have to take the book out and do it elsewhere. So we're going to head into the suspicious spy green book spot on the far right. And there's just so many lowlights. There's such a high probability that this could be seen. Luckily, Kane's kind of hair and skin color and jacket are all that kind of darker color, so it's a little bit harder to see his head turn on that. It kind of blends a little bit better than some of the other characters that are out there. And we do end up getting away with it. We do go for a white purloin here. I'm not sure if there were any rejects prior. Lazybear does acknowledge it. He's thinking, but he didn't see the fade. So I'm sure we're going to be on the short list of suspects here, and we're going to have a hard time getting a fifth mission through. Seduce is fine, but you've got a minute to get your fifth mission, and it's going to have to be bug, inspect, swap, or fingerprint, and I just don't see that happening. Pick up our flirt to 100%. Maybe a frame swap on, Alice or someone that maybe Pofke can sniff out who Lazybear is suspicious of for the purloin and try and make it a 50-50. We do have Irish taking an instant drink. He hasn't low-lit Irish, who was on the far right side of the venue, I think, so maybe we're not very keen on what that purloin was. And we go for a wrong arm entry bug with a drink in hand. And Lazybear times it out perfectly. I think he's counting down there, debating if he wanted to take that shot, and decided that he did. That bug was great. You have to be suspicious for the path here. That wrong arm bug is, I feel, like the exact amount that you need to be to the left here. So the reason that it uses it always uses the hand that's closest. So what Pofke has to do is walk long enough that his right hand is closer kind of than his left hand. I mean, his left hand has a drink, but you have to at least be to the side of the amba here for the prompt to come up, I believe. And that's why you kind of see him go straight at the amba and then curve into the convo. I don't think that was really seen at all. I don't even really see it in the replay here. But you have to be suspicious for the path, which Lazybear correctly was. So a great bug by Pofke, but also great awareness by Lazybear to be watching for the bug, while the last 25 seconds are ticking down here. He almost didn't take the shot. That was worrisome there. Heading into the last venue with Lazybear up 6-4, we have Redwoods. Lazybear is good at Redwoods. He and I played in the Redwoods venue tournament and had a lot of back and forth sets. So he definitely knows how to play Redwoods on both sides, which is important. It can feel like it may be a spy-sided venue because of the trees and whatnot, but he knows how to play sniper as well. And all he needs is one win. Right now, Lazybear stands with one of the marbles in his court, trying to get the second one. Pofke has to win both sides of Redwoods here to obtain a marble himself. Pretty docile start here, not much going on from Lazybear or the party goers. We do have the delegate in pocket. We're going to head in for a flirt with our seduction target at the front window, up to 85%. We've got the constant back and forth by Pofke here. Looks like we may have been heading in for the briefcase. The Amba is now kind of in the way. Another innocent watch check out at the window. Lazybear's been spending a lot of time at the window this round. See if it's something that catches Pofke's eye. We are a highlight for the early bar. Are we going to bring these bar highlights back down, though? Pick up our first fingerprint. I imagine we're going to head in to finish up flirt here. We are in with the DA. Now would be a great time for Banana Bread. I think that's everybody in.
Banana Bread.
Oh, never mind. Oprah's out, but still a great BB. Pick up a green. And Pofke is on top of that. A surprisingly early shot. Surprisingly early. Especially considering, what was that was a green BB into talk. I'm wondering if Pofke mistook that for a white. I don't think so. I think that's just a bit of a read with the briefcase and the timing and everything from Pofke. So that's a pretty scary shot. I'd be scared if this was earlier in the set. I would be worried if I was Lazybear. Luckily, we're heading into the last round, and he doesn't have to worry about Pofke's sniper anymore. Oh, flirt pair. Yep, I didn't think of that. Of course, David W. is the one that calls out that it was an easy flirt pair. Yeah, you're right. He did kind of chase him at the window and then kind of went back there and just did a little bit of spacing for it. So, yeah, definitely an early shot. But, against these players, when sometimes you just got to take it. So, heading into the last round for the last marble, Pofke's going to start off with a flirt next to his ST, who is tapped up to 34%. Good point by Warning Track that it's hard to call a shot early on Redwoods. It is a venue where you can just get kind of like early Taeyeon, where you could just get a lot of missions done really fast. Taeyeon doesn't play like that as much anymore with the guest count reduction. Maybe that's something that we could entertain on Redwoods. And we're just going to timer flirt up to 68%. Highlight onto queen. Lazybear being a little bit more static with his camera. We saw Pofke doing the kind of back and forth thing, which if you keep doing it, you can the the trees don't get removed, but
Banana
you
bread.
can kind of see past them in that sense. Kind of like, if you're driving and something is like in the guardrail is like passing really quickly, it's like you can almost see through it. You can kind of do the same thing with the trees if you keep moving back and forth, but you could miss, little animations. Picking up our contact, we've got two low lights. Our ST's at red books. The times that I've played Pofke and SCL in the past last season, I felt like there was a lot of mind games, a lot of civ shot baiting and frames. We haven't seen anything like that from Pofke as of yet. He may be respecting Lazybear's sniper to the point where he doesn't think it will induce a shot like that. But if a civ shot or a frame was going to happen, Redwoods is definitely a good opportunity for it. We're going to pick up the guest list, but we do have to show a hard tell. So if it's going to happen, it's going to be post swap or purloin. However, we're on pace to finish. We're going to get this seduce here. But even if we get the delegate, I don't know what our fourth mission is going to be. We delegate to our seduction target, who is a highlight. And at this point, we are only a neutral light, one of the better positions to be in. Because neutral lights aren't as reconsidered as low lights, though our low lights this round are just on people outside of conversation for banana bread, so they're not going to warrant reconsideration anyways. And David W. is right. We get the civ shot onto Taft by Lazybear, and Pofke earns himself a marble. Surprising that that civ shot was taken. What else did Taft have that game? It's hard to watch anything from the sniper POV. He's been to red books. Oh, that would be his inspect. I think that's only two. That's only. I don't think that's inspects complete. We hang out. So if we're Taft here, all right, you get your flirt done. You get your contact. You head in for double inspects. It was kind of a split too, a little bit of a delayed split. We go for the briefcase. We redirect. We head in next to Amba. Our eyes were on that for Bug, though. I don't think you credit Bug there. And you send Taft in for Delegate. I mean, I guess if you think that you missed an inspect or you think that you missed that bug, then you have to shoot there. Um, could also be Lazybear just thinking that, he was onto him and that he knew that that was going to be the spy. But nonetheless, a great set in Platinum overall. A lot of back and forth, a lot of good bugs, and a lot of good shots on those good bugs.